This is the DLLS Stars Post Game show. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. And by Happiest Hour, your home base and the best place to catch the NHL playoffs and cheer on the Dallas Stars, just steps away from the AAC. The ultimate spot with 50-plus beers and 40-plus televisions for all the big moments every single game day. Happiest Hour, your favorite spot for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Welcome inside tonight's DLLS Stars post-game show alongside Sam Nestler, Craig Ludwig, and Sean Shapiro. I'm Owen Newkirk. Before we get into tonight's breakdown, let's quickly remind you that the ALLCITY spring cleaning sale is currently underway with items mostly 30% off, a few up to 75% off. There are some exclusions as we have some. It's a great time to get merchandise, but we do have some brand new things for the playoffs. And with that, the Stars, of course, have their Finnish Mafia shirt, the Wyatt Johnston, now 22-year-old 16-bit shirt, the Mikko finisher, as well as, of course, the Mikko Moose and the Captain Visor. Yeah, I know he doesn't wear one, but it's a cool-looking shirt. Jamie Benn one. All of those available now on alldlls.com if you check out the merch shop and everything that involves with it. All right, Luds. Talk Sam off the ledge. He's already wound up and upset. Why shouldn't he be that concerned with a Game 5 loss in Winnipeg tonight?
Because the Jets dominated the game for the most part, and they will try to duplicate it. And I would say that this is the kind of game possibly that their goaltender feels a little bit better about himself going, even though it is on the road and all the road woes he's had. But as they say, momentum doesn't carry over. And I would say the good news is Dallas at home. You know how the building's going to be. And, you just can't get out hit 2-1 through the first couple of periods. You're going to have to respond in that manner and I wouldn't say take something away from them, but create some of your own momentum. And then I think the earlier you can get pucks directed to the net. I mean, again, what they have to do is they have to figure a way out of the neutral zone because they get clogged up in that neutral zone. And credit to the Jets. They do a good job through the neutral zone. Dallas doesn't get their speed going. They don't get in with any easy entries. They're not creative. They have to create off of puck battles and cycled pucks and things like that. They don't really get anything on the rush that they're generally used to getting.
We just got an email from the NHL officially announcing this. I know this was already said on the TV broadcast, but it will Game 6 Saturday night will officially be at 7 Central Time, 8 Eastern Time, televised on ABC and ESPN Plus in the U.S., of course, Sportsnet, CBC, and TVA if you happen to be watching in Canada, which I can confirm. Charlie and many other Jets fans do like to join our shows. Hi, Charlie. And so 7 o'clock, a normal start time, which is nice compared to these 8:50 ones.
I love that.
ABC, big show. Regular.
All right. So Luds tried to tell you a few brief takeaways. Sean, what's yours?
Series is kind of where I expected it to be. I expected this to either be a 6 or 7 game series, so that's not stunning one way or the other. And tonight was a game where tonight had all of the seeds early for Jake Oettinger to have a Jake Oettinger moment, and Jake did everything he could, but puck bounces off Thomas Harley's skate, goes in, and a 5-on-3 power play goal makes it 2-0, and that's the game right there. And to me, it doesn't change anything about the series. There's obviously a lot of disappointment and disgust with the Stars' offensive creation and as things went. It's also a game, though, I can't help but look at it in the way Winnipeg played and how things went, where it took them a bounce off Thomas Harley's skate and a 5-on-3 power play goal to make it 2-0. That's the only reason and then the third goal at the end, I get it. The game's kind of out of hand. But to me, the difference in this game is Winnipeg getting their bounce and taking advantage of the power play at 5-on-3. And then it's not like there was a big dam breaking defensively to me. It's not like there was a fall in Jake Oettinger's game. there's nothing I took away from this game where I now don't think Dallas can win Game 6 or Game 7 if it got to that. It's the Jets are a good team. They had to save their season. They came out better. They were definitely the better team tonight. Not disputing that at all. But they just cut the series lead to 3-2, and Dallas gets to go home. So I'm trying to be a little bit, because I know there's obviously a lot of Dallas Stars fan kind of venom right now and frustration. They watch the team lose 4-0. They think, hey, what could happen and all of this. And it's easy to kind of, it's okay to be mad at the result. I think that's definitely fine. I just think there's a bit of reality to be added to this of give Winnipeg credit, pick at what you want apart with Dallas, the 5-on-5 play, we have to talk about that. But it's also not like all of a sudden it's like, oh God, the Stars are going to lose this series. That doesn't change that. So,
Sam, you said before we went on that you were still wound up and couldn't get yourself refocused. Why?
Yeah, I was giving credit to the NHL players in general, and especially this team, because I watch a game like that, and I'm in the in between, right? I'm not the fan that's screaming at the TV or anything like that. But it's also a team that I've followed and then I cover and then I care about. So it's kind of the in between. Then I find the players that are all in on the ice going through these type of games, and to go through a loss where, Sean just mentioned all the things, let's broke it down. But in the end, you got outplayed for a large majority of a game, if not the full game. You didn't create a whole lot, and you lost the game 4-0 for the second straight time on their ice. I just give credit to teams that are able to just flip the switch and say, you know what, that was one game. And because, I forget who said it, one of the coaches, whether we lost 7-1 or 1-0, we still lost one game in the series. It's still a 3-2 series, and we still have a chance to go home and clinch this thing. My reverse question, I guess, for you guys is this game on Saturday now a must win for Dallas?
No.
It isn't, but I would prefer, and I bet you Luds would agree, that they take care of business and not go back to Winnipeg where it's a coin toss, I think.
Right.
I think you treat it as one, and typically what guys will talk about going into the playoffs and going into big games is like, you do whatever it takes to win a hockey game. And not that you don't in a regular season game, but this just means more. And, and if you have to jump in front of a puck and put your face in front of it, you do it, because there's the end result. The funny thing about that, and Sean talked about the first goal going off of Thomas Harley, extra effort was made by Wyatt Johnston. If Wyatt doesn't stretch out and try to get a piece of that, Jake makes that save. It's going right into Jake's body. And it unfortunately hit Wyatt, goes off to the left, hits Harley in the skate, or in the leg. But those are the things that happen. Now, like, to answer your question, I think that it is important to go into this. And right now, the happiest people probably in the hockey world are the Edmonton Oilers, because now they have another couple days of rest. And not only that, they've got a blueprint of what, and this is not I don't know. I've watched all their games. They're a little different team than we've seen in the past. They're not pulling with two guys.
They have some actual depth now.
Well, but they're physical players. Like for instance, Hyman over the course of 82 games during the season averages 1 hit a game. The game prior to this last one last night, he had 7 hits. But they've all been doing that. Whether it's the addition,
all on Pietrangelo, I think.
Yeah, and you know who else it gives a little bit of rest to? A defenseman that'll probably be back in the lineup.
Mattias Ekholm.
And he is a
pretty important
for that team. And and again, he's going to be jumping into the playoffs. So, and speaking of that, I thought Miro looked a lot better tonight. I thought you could see the difference. I was concerned with the very last play of the game, because Miro hit his left leg when he spun around at the net.
Saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't think it was enough. But...
obviously he's got a brace on. I would assume he does. So I was wondering, and I didn't see anything after that. And you're wondering, did it do anything? Will it be sore? And, probably not. But Miro did look a lot more like Miro, confident and things like that. You can still see a little bit in the backwards. And there was one chance, I think it was Niederreiter early got to the inside and got a chance. And you can see there's probably not the same strength as in that left leg, because that's when he tried to push off the left leg, and it was a little slow for him to recover, but he looked much better.
Yeah, I thought the rust, the maybe any tentativeness with the hands, the communication between the brain and the hands and the feet all look better for him. I think you would expect that in game 2 of after almost 4 months of not playing. So that was really good. Sean, the other side of it is, for all the fact, you're absolutely right. The Jets were the better team tonight.
Yeah.
Jake Oettinger kept them in the game. I had 5 high danger chances in the first period for Winnipeg. That's really high because usually it's like 1 or 2, maybe 3. Jake was really, really solid. But on the flip side, the Jets still had a hard time scoring goals. And I don't think that tonight really does anything to alleviate those concerns, especially when they head out on the road. I gave you the numbers in the pregame. They're averaging less than 2 goals a game on the road in the playoffs this year. So I think the concerns are still there. And Dallas, for the fact that they didn't look nearly as dangerous offensively tonight as they've done in some other games, including game 4, they were hanging around. And I mean, I'll throw this to Sean, but Luddy can attest with all the teams that he won with. If you're a team that doesn't have your A game and you're hanging around and have a chance to win, that's a good team.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, the Stars were down. They had not played for 40 minutes. They're down 1-0 on a goal that goes in off Thomas Harley going into the third period. And I didn't, even though they were getting outshot and getting outplayed, until Winnipeg had the 5-on-3 power play, I never felt like Dallas was out of the game. It did change with the 5-on-3 power play, and it's 2-0. You're like, okay. But the way the Stars goalie was playing, knowing what the Stars have done late in games before, when this is a 1-0 game, I'm still looking at this game as the Stars, it takes one shot. And the Stars, and that's how playoff hockey goes. And that's, so yeah, you lose 4-0. And it doesn't look good for the total goals against here or there, but I don't know how many times do we talk about how it doesn't carry over from one to the other. It doesn't matter. So the key for me on all of this is, and we're not trying to defend what the Stars did. I'm not doing that. The Stars put it all in, we all saw it. I'm not trying to insult our listeners or viewers or anything like that. But the point is, the Stars were still in this game because the Jets didn't put them away early. And when the Jets, I can hear the thunder all around here. So the fact of the matter is
Oh, wait a minute, Sean. Do you want to let everybody know?
Oh yeah,
how you spent part of this game tonight? Because I think that's rather interesting for our show.
With about 8 minutes. Yeah, with about 8 minutes left in the game. Now the game was already over, but with 8 minutes left in the game, the tornado siren went off, and that woke up everyone else in my house who was asleep. Both dogs, both kids, my wife.
No.
So that was the. So now it's just a friendly, heavy thunderstorm, but tornado siren went off, and we're good now.
For all of our viewers in Texas and the surrounding area, that's normal.
Yes.
Does that happen in Michigan all that often?
Not all the time, but it's
not
all the time, but it's.
I thought up north. I mean, I'm from New England originally. Yeah. I didn't have to deal with tornadoes until I moved to Texas, and it's been 13 years now.
Yeah.
I didn't think the north, like that part. I mean, Luddy, have you ever had a tornado warning in Wisconsin?
Oh, no, we've had a couple tornadoes that have come through, and you can see through the county roads there, so you can see a path just through the woods still. It's been years ago. Today, though, Sean was chasing Wisconsin, Minnesota. My niece, they had like baseball-size hail. Golf balls.
Dang. Yeah, that's the worst.
One of the Midwest things.
Yeah, my wife's family's from the Toledo area, which is a lot of really flat farmland. So that is one where when those do get going, it picks up right away and gets going right away. So that's the other reason that it's a bit of a quick alert for my wife and everything like that, because she grew up in the flatlands of Ohio, where if there is a warning, it could be there in 2 minutes. So that's why everyone was up and awake, and the hockey game didn't get any better, though, watching from the basement while that siren was going on.
Well, now that the weather report is over, I will say, though, that Dallas has to be better.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you that last game that they played in Dallas, they took something out of that game in this building. They felt that they could have won that hockey game. And I think that guys like Robo and Marchment and Sagan, they have to be more on it. I know Tyler had a chance tonight, but They've got to get more scoring opportunities. I mean, even Mikko, he was around it, but you don't notice him as much in the last game and this game. So
Agreed.
There's something, whatever they're putting in place, it's doing something. You know what I mean? And so Dallas and their coaches are going to have to figure out exactly what that is. And if you've got to get away from a certain matchup or a different approach to coming through the neutral zone, you've got to come up with it.
Let's talk about all that. Boy, we've already got a double-digit super chat tally going. Keep going. But let's break down the game a little bit more next here on the DLS Stars Post Game Show.
All right, first let's talk about happiest hour. Happiest hour is a step or stone's throw away, as Owen likes to say, from the AAC. If you're headed to a Stars game, there's no better pregame or postgame spot than happiest hour. It is steps away from the arena. You can grab a beer, devour some apps, and walk across the street and catch the puck drop. We got to go over there before game, what was it, 4? And it was awesome. I got to see the pretzel, which I hadn't seen up close. That was the first time. That thing is humongous. Looks delicious. Food looks good. The beer towers. Luds was crashing them down. It's a great time. They got bites built for teams, playoff ready pours, weekday happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. It's an awesome spot to go. Score half off apps and signature cocktails. Perfect warm up before puck drop or for basketball or really any other sport. And you can watch the games there on many, many TVs. Whether it's a weekday or a weekend, Game 7 or the off-season, happiest hour is our favorite spot at the LLS. Check them out right down the road from the American Airlines Center.
Thank you, Sam. Let's talk about Ownwell. Well, it's now May 16th. Most of the deadlines for property protests in Texas are, for most counties, is May 15th. But maybe it's not. Maybe you have a little more time. And Ownwell can help with that. Owning property comes with plenty of challenges. Overpaying on property tax shouldn't be one of them. You can fight your property taxes and save thousands of dollars each year. I don't know if you knew that, but you definitely can. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying for property tax, you should only pay for what's fair. Sign up in under 3 minutes, and the team of local experts and cutting-edge technology can save you money with no upfront costs. It's so easy to do. They handle everything from start to finish. They deliver top-notch results. No upfront costs. You only pay if you save. The deadline, as I mentioned before, to protest is May 15th, which was the start of Game 5 for most counties. Save money on your property taxes with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes. Go to ownwell.com/DLLS. That's OWNWELL.com/DLLS. All right. So, Luds, I hope the lobotomy went well. And let's talk a little bit about this game. The first period, there were no goals, but boy, did the Jets have some big-time chances. And I thought Jake Oettinger really looked fantastic. He stopped Kyle Connor on a one-timer right off a face-off win. He stopped Gabe Velarde at the crease on a really close-up chance. I thought the Connor save was better because Jake's so big and in great position, but when you have a wrist shot from about 3 or 4 feet off the crease, that's usually considered a pretty dangerous opportunity. What do you think about the way Jake set up early? Because we'll talk about power play goals for the Jets later.
Jake, early and often, has been great. And I'm going back to Game 1 versus the Avs. Tonight, early in the game, he looked like he knew where the pucks were going. Like he knew, I mean, he was set up before they even got ready to release him. I'm getting ready to move in with you over there, Sam.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to make a joke. Kyle Connor had another chance on a loose puck that kind of fell to him kindly, ripped one. Oettinger seemed to read that really well. Miro Heiskanen had one of very, very few good chances for the Stars in the first period. It was on a power play. He got to the right dot. He had a clean look. Hellebuyck looked sharp early. Ehlers turned the corner on Dodonov with speed. That was a high danger chance as Oettinger denied him. Lowry had a 2-on-1 on a rush, took the shot. Oettinger was there. And then Wyatt had that great look late in the period. Sean, you talked about what if a bounce went in. Dodonov goes wide, centers it, and Johnston's redirection goes just past the right post. Hellebuyck's completely sold on Dodonov, which I thought was a tracking mistake from the Jets goalie there. And again, ifs, ands, or buts, doesn't matter. But Johnston hits that between the posts. It's an easy goal.
Yeah, it's There were opportunities. As much as there wasn't the quantity of opportunities, there were at least 3 to 4 opportunities there for Dallas throughout this game, and that's one of them, as you're talking about. And we'll get to the second period too, the big Hellebuyck save and everything like that. So there are those moments that one bounce, one finish, that it doesn't matter which way you get it, that changes the entire dichotomy of how this game goes. And
well, go ahead and talk about that save on Harley early in the second period.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, to me, that's Connor Hellebuyck's statement moment. And if it's the statement from this game, and if the Jets win Game 6, it's the statement that continues on as long as the Jets season continues. It's first period, Jake Oettinger has been great at the other end. And what did we see in Dallas? Jake Ottinger's playing well at one end, and then a 50-footer by Mikael Granlund beats Hellebuyck over the glove, and it's very deflating for the Jets. So that's a moment where the Jets need Connor Hellebuyck to make that save, because they've seen how, on the other end, they've seen Jake Ottinger's game, they've seen him dialed in, and 30-something seconds into the second period, all of a sudden Stars get a prime grade A, and it's not just that Hellebuyck made the stop. To me, it's a big – I've used the term that Jake Ottinger's had some FU moments in the playoffs. It's a Connor Hellebuyck's FU moment type deal, a positive one, where that's a save that goes against the typical Connor Hellebuyck book. He is this great play reader. He's very boring-looking goalie in how he plays. That is his body. His body. He's got his body is on two different planes. His lower body, upper body, going two different directions. He makes a big athletic glove save. Gives it a little bit more mustard than it probably does playing to the Winnipeg crowd. But that's a moment where he has definitely. We talked about him after last game, and how he looked shell shocked and everything like that. Guarantee you, he has heard all about his hands aren't active enough. He's not quick enough up high. That save is one of those moments where it's like, no, I am one of the best goalies in the world, and I can do this. And that to me is, he makes that save, and you're kind of watching. You're like, all right, it's gonna take, if whoever's gonna win this game tonight, it's gonna take one. This might be a 1-0 game when you see that. And credit to Connor Hellebuyck. That save right there goes into the highlight reel. It's one that I'm sure the Jets built off of, and then it takes one wonky one at the other end where he makes a play on that as well, and we'll get to that in a moment, but where he makes a play to help set that one up as well, where that's all he needed tonight. The Jets could have won 1-0 tonight.
Hey,
See, I think that was a good save, but that thing flutters on Jake. I mean, it flutters and it stands up, and he doesn't get all of it. So I think
about on Harley,
he kind of makes it look maybe a little bit bigger than what it was. I think Jake wanted to get that up underneath the bar hard. Or Thomas, yes.
Yeah.
I think Thomas wanted to get that, but it flutters on him and it's bouncing around a little bit. And just as he's starting to release it, you can actually see part of the puck flat and part of the puck standing above the blade, which means he didn't get anywhere near what he wanted to.
Yeah, but my point is, it's a goal that's beaten Hellebuyck throughout this series. Right? Like, it's
a bigger save. I think he put it right in his glove. I think if he gets it, he goes upstairs with it. So I ain't going to give him that credit. The hell with him.
Sam, the line that Pete likes to say a lot is, if we could just get one goal, I could feel the momentum shift, and maybe we're in that. Whether it was the Harley chance early, or I'm going to ask Luds about the Scheifele goal in a second. Tyler Seguin had a 2-on-1 after it was 1-0 Jets, and he hit the right post. You feel like if this team can re-rack, get one of those, and go. They didn't tonight, but they're always thinking they just need one.
Yeah, what a sneaky little pass by Jamie Benn off the wall, fighting off two guys, turns that top hand over and kind of slips it in. Rantanen or whoever that was that got it over to Seguin. But yeah, I think the funny thing about this game is when you looked at it, especially after maybe not the third period as much, but the first 40 minutes, if the Stars were 1-0 leading or 1-1 tied or still 0-0 even, you're like, hey, what did Sean say at the beginning? This might be a really boring game, but they just want to hang around and stay in it. And that's really what it felt like. And it was the bad bounce that made it 1-0. And then obviously everything changed quick in the third period. But you're exactly right. If they either find a way not to give up that one goal and be trailing and put Winnipeg in the spot they want to be, or they find a way to tie it or take a lead themselves, and it changes the whole outlook of the game.
All right, Luds, tell us about the Scheifele goal. Obviously, a little bit of luck, but also a little bit of bad luck and a couple of weird deflections.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think it was probably it's all of everything that you said, but it's important for Scheifele, right? And I think it's important for the team because the captain's on the board now, and he's been he's been okay, but I think that's their guy. So I just look at it from him scoring that goal. It gives him a boost, but I think it gives everybody else on that club a boost, knowing that their leader is the guy that's kind of holding the flag and taking it into battle.
Scheifele had a second goal. It was clearly waved off. The referee, Wes McCauley, was right in position. It went off the back. I mean, he swatted it home. Kudos to the Jets fans for announcing should have kicked it. That was a clever chant. Going back to the Alex Petrovic goal in Game 3, I still think that's a little bit of bitterness, but it was funny to hear the crowd at Canada Life Center do that. Sean, the save that Jake made, you can tell he was living right when he was back to the play on Gabe Vilardi on the Jets power play when it was 1-0. That was pretty something. You don't see that every day.
Oh yeah, that's I mean, you got to keep you stay as big as possible, even if you can't see the puck. So
when it hits you in the back or in the back of the pants or the back of the legs, things are going your way.
That was also, I don't know if you guys saw, Cody Ceci was using Rope Hint's stick, which was the wrong curve. Rope Hintz was trying to change. Jake's turned the wrong way. That was a fun moment to watch, especially because it didn't end up in the net.
There you go, Gallagher. It was a twerk save by Jay.
Yes.
I like it.
Put it back into
so you go to the third period, and it's 1-0. You're thinking one good chance, and you're all there. And then this game, I honestly think the Stars were right there, even though they were being generally outplayed, except for Jake. And then the two penalties, right? In quick succession, 2 trips, Petrovic first, and then Lindell. I don't really have a big issue with either one. I guess, Luds, my only issue with the Petrovic one is that his stick is against the side of the net. I don't know where else you want to put that.
Well, part of that is because he had only played 6 minutes up to that point. That's the problem with playing 7 defensemen.
Yeah.
And you're number 5 and 6, and you don't get out there with the same amount of confidence, and you're trying, and actually what you're trying to do, you're trying to make sure you get another shift, and ultimately you're trying not to make a mistake. So and when I went back and looked at it a couple of times, it almost looks like he was a little slow, and not, I don't mean tired and stiff, but you're not as much into the game as much you are. And his stick, it looked like it got caught on the net between the back of the net and the skate, and again, all he's trying to do is get stick on puck, and it just breaks down.
So then Lindell gets the toe pick, falls in, trips up. They get a 5-on-3. And Sam, I'm going to you on this one because you've been beating the drum on allowing that chance, but Ehlers finally scored on that kind of thing. It's different when it's 5-on-3 versus 5-on-4, though.
Yeah, you have to give up something. So a chance from the goal line is probably not what your worst nightmare. But I think Sean will agree. That was kind of one of those weird ones where Jake was had the stick out flat, right, and kind of was opening that up a little bit. It's a weird play. Ehlers looks like his head's down, so I don't think he necessarily did that because Jake was doing what he was doing, but just one of those weird kind of slinging shots that finds the far side, and that was a killer. That one hurt.
Well, and the other thing about that, when you guys talk about a little more room, so he's got another extra second. He can take another step. Where Connor was generally coming off the goal line, he was taking one step because there's a defenseman there that can collapse on him a little quicker. And Jake's stick, he had it over like he always did, but there was a little, there's a couple inches in there between his right pad. And maybe, and I don't know if he was wondering if he was going to try to go far post or if he was guessing, or it just didn't get as tight to his body.
Sean, do you get a read on that goal from a goalie's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it's 5-on-3. You're expected to score, especially when you get it for a minute 47, minute 48, and your best penalty killer is also in the box as well. I think who took the second penalty was a big part of it. The fact it's Essa Lindell. If it's anyone else, you're still expecting Winnipeg to score out of 5-on-3 if it's somebody else, but you're feeling a little bit better about how things work there. And to me, I'm not going to put anything on Jake Oettinger on that. good player coming in, you're playing the percentages, and that's the reality. Nikolaj Ehlers is a very good NHL player, and he's going to have more advantage of that time and more time and space, and Jake is playing the percentage as best as possible. So I'm not going to pick at the way at Oettinger's save selection on that or how he played that, because it's this game.
What's he looking for, Sean? You say playing the percentages, so what's he playing for?
Well, so when he's coming in, when Ehlers is coming in along that play, and you kind of see it's a spot where Jake's trying to kind of center himself a little bit, because it's one of those where you don't have, without your defender coming back, Ehlers has both the opportunity to potentially explode all the way to the right post or the left post. And so you're kind of trying to center yourself a little bit so you can make the play either way. And if Ehlers with the 5-on-3, if Jake goes far left post on his glove side, it opens up further for either the quick pass, which will always be open on the 5-on-3, or it also opens up the kind of the drag, the high walkout play. And so if he does that, he kind of gives the high walkout away. If he goes too far over there, he gives more there. So you kind of have to play that into, and then just hope you can make an athletic play on it. It's a tough spot. It's a tough save, and you just kind of play it to try to put yourself in the best spot to hope your athleticism pays off, and it didn't there. But I'm not blaming the goalie for that one. It's a 5-on-3 and it's a good goal, and it's it happens. So
up next on the Stars post-game show, we'll continue. We have a couple more things I want to talk about in the third period, and then we'll get to all those super chats right here on DLLS.
Stars fans, keep drinking. That's all I got to say. Enjoying the game. It should be easy. The only way it's going to help is if you get a big old hangover in the morning, you'll just forget all about the game. What to wear? Done. Throw on your favorite jersey. Game 6. Not sure what to serve your friends? That's easy. Pick up some pizza, some great beer, some Bud Light. Fill up the fridge. It's going to be possibly another long night on Saturday. Hear all the guys laughing? See, they agree with me. It could be a long night. See, it's that easy. Just like Bud Light, which is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients before some clean, crisp taste hits your mouth. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, but remember, do it responsibly. Bud Light beer, St. Louis, Missouri, Anheuser-Busch. I'm changing it up because I'm changing up the luck a little bit.
I like it. Let's talk about Empire today. Just like your favorite team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. And Empire today can help you get it. Empire today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to those big box stores. You wander endless aisles, then somehow you're hauling all these materials home, looking for an installer and coordinating everything yourself. Those big box stores might have a flooring department, but the person helping you with flooring may have been doing sinks yesterday and could be stocking light bulbs tomorrow. Why is Empire today your best bet for a new floor? Well, because they live and breathe flooring. They will be there every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. You can bring the showroom right to your home, picking the right flooring and the right colors for your space. You can see how it looks with your furniture in your house. Get precise measurements taken and have all your questions answered so there are no surprises. With Empire today, you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule your installation as soon as the next day. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard right, a $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DLLS for full details.
Our show is not better at home.
No?
Miss you guys.
Yeah. Well, you know,
especially Sean.
At least we don't have to get in the car and drive home for 45 minutes or an hour afterwards. All right, before we get to all the super chats, I did want to ask you guys about the third goal, the Nemestikov power play goal, and a couple of saves that Hellebuyck made. So, Luddy, we'll go to you first. The Jets had been 1 for 16 in the series on the power play, but the 5-on-3 kind of got them on the board, and then Nemestikov scored the second goal of the period, making it 3-0 on a really nice shot under the bar. What did you think about that play?
How much time was left in the game?
The time of the goal was 12:07, so just under 8 minutes remaining.
Yeah, too much time for me. You're down 2-0 for Jamie to try to make a play at center ice with the puck. He has the puck on the wall and he tries to pull it into the middle. I think, you just make sure you get that penalty killed. I think you still have time. And by that, it turns over, down it goes, and it's back in the net. So I would have preferred at that time, you're down within 5-6 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe even less. I think you can try to make a play there if you're shorthanded. You still have some time on the clock. But, you put that third goal in and it just feels like it's over.
Sean, there were two chances for Matt Duchene, one at 2-0 and one at 3-0 that I thought were really, really good saves from Hellebuyck. One was on the power play from the right circle. Rantanen had a one-timer where he kind of flubbed it a little bit, but I thought Hellebuyck got over and sealed really well with his shoulder. And then when it was 3-0, Duchene had a redirection that Hellebuyck had to kind of lift his right shoulder up. And boy, it was an acrobatic save, athletic for a guy that's supposed to cover a lot of net. We've been down on him a bit in this series because he's looked smaller, but those to me were two very big saves.
Yeah. And admittedly, the second one you're talking about, I only watched briefly because I moved to the
Tornado
basement and tornado time was happening. And so the second one I can't talk as in depth about, but the first one and just kind of one of the things that when Hellebuyck is playing well and he doesn't make a lot of highlight reel saves and everything like that, but one of the things he does a really nice job of doing is some of those late adjustment seals, I'll call it. And that's the one where when you talk to the 2-0 one, the basically getting the extra rise up on his shoulder and everything like that. There's a foundation in his game, and then he doesn't make a ton of adjustments, but when he does, it's kind of how does he make up for? We've talked about the active hands. I feel like active hands has been my new effectively. That has been how often I've had this in this series. But when you don't have the active hands that are typically making that save up here, so I'm using small screen here. So if what's quicker, trying to make this motion right here, or if you can get your entire body up like that quickly, it's a modification in his game that works really well when you see him dialed in. So,
all right, guys. Sam, anything you want to add before we get to the super chats?
No, unless do we not? I don't know if we have a super chat about 11-7 versus 12-6. I'm getting a lot of questions about that.
I think we probably do.
Yeah, so I think we can jump ahead, and I'm sure there's one about Jamie Benn in there. So
let's talk about it. John, let's get those bing bongs going. Let's start with Burned Oils with a Lundqvist and a Masterton. When's the last time we won 3-0 or 4-0 in playoffs? Unacceptable that the Jets did it twice to us. 2 times easy already, and we haven't won these playoffs. As Sean said earlier, it doesn't matter. A playoff win is a playoff win. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0, 5-0, 6-5, win's a win. Right? Luds, they don't ask you how many shutouts you had on the way to the Stanley Cup, do they?
Yeah, you got to have a short memory. It's not easy, but sometimes, and like we always talk about momentum, it doesn't carry over like people think. But the Jets can do something about it. The Jets can come out to have a similar period and be a physical kind of group. But I think you meet force with force if you can.
All right, let's go to the next one. Go ahead, Sean.
Real quick. When Luds won a Stanley Cup in '99, the Stars never won a game by 4 or more.
Right.
We weren't allowed to, all the pucks that are being shot from the other end of that was taboo.
Yeah.
That was face off in your own zone, and you never know kind of stuff. So it was about lulling them to death.
Yeah, the Stars
also did it in the 2-line pass era too.
Yeah, but it's my point is,
but it was still lull them to death. Do them nothing.
Yeah. But my point is, you guys, you won a Stanley Cup. There was two 3-0 wins. Both of those had empty nets in there. It's you don't have to win 3 and 4-0 games to win the playoffs. You just have to win 16 games.
And they've had 6-2 wins.
Yeah, and 5-2.
Yeah, and you scored a bunch of goals. So I would argue that it doesn't matter if it's a shutout because if you win by 4 goals or more, that's a pretty dominant statement in the playoffs. All right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bang.
R-Dubs with a Oscar Beck and a Casey DeSmith. Duchesne, it's not a hometown discount when you go missing in the playoffs. That's your legacy, and the playoffs are all that really matters. Sign Granlund instead. That's an interesting debate. We'll do more about roster construction in the offseason after the playoffs are done, but how do you guys feel about Matt Duchesne right now?
I was just going to say, I've seen it. I don't remember if I said it to you, Owen, or if it was Robert. I've seen a lack of confidence from him. It's not just that he's not producing or that he's not finishing plays. It just looks like the pucks that usually get off his stick quickly, whether it's a cross-crease pass, a shot, he's fumbling them or holding on to them for another second or two and running out of options. And that to me just screams confidence levels. So for me, on the other side of it, I'm rooting for the guy as a human because I know what the spring took out of him last year. I know how devastated he was to not be able to be the player he wanted to be. And I had high expectations for him here. So now's the time to shine. Game 6, Matt Duchesne's specialty.
Bing bang.
Revy two hands with a Lundqvist and year after the cup. Can you guys please not mess this up? The Winnipeg Jets are boring and I hate them.
Us or the Stars?
I'm guessing Stars.
I mean, I messed everything up, so I'm okay with taking the blame here if we need that. I can be the scapegoat. That's fine.
Bing bang.
Matthew Presley with a Lundqvist and a year after the cup. They had a chance to get extra rest tonight, and they blew it. This player group learned nothing from last year, absolutely nothing. Matthew, I understand that the benefit of winning tonight would have been huge, but there's a really good President's Trophy winning team on the other side. Playing at home, knowing that they had golf courses and fishing trips in their future if they didn't win tonight's hockey game. It was close. They were better. They won. Game 6 in Dallas, there's a reason why they've won 3 already, and Winnipeg still hasn't won a road game yet. Next.
Bing bang.
Bailey with a Madonna and 99 cup year. I love my Stars and have confidence, but they got the something knocked out of them. We need some Luddy nuts. Anyways, go Stars, game 6, dogs. Yeah, game 6.
Bloody nuts.
Mando.
I'm waiting for our first reference from Mando tonight.
Don't know what bloody nuts means.
Balls, butt cracks, and grundles.
There it is. Thank you, John.
Uh,
Oh,
Bing
perfect.
bang.
All right. Christian writes in with a Madonna 99 cup year. Why did Pete feel the need to mix lines after game 4? Stars played their worst game and Jets solved many of their issues tonight. Momentum can carry into game 6. No, Christian. But he wrote Ben, Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment, Steele, Dodonov made no sense. All right, Sam, I want to go to you first. 11-7 in game 6?
They had 11 forwards, so all the lines were shuffled. But I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. This wasn't the reason they lost the game. I'm not saying that at all. But one of the things I've loved about this team is how they're able to roll those lines and put pressure on. I just feel like maybe that takes a little bit of that away with when you're doing this, especially if you start trailing, you're chasing the game, you're just throwing Rantanen out there as many times as you possibly can. I don't think a lot of people are saying that it was a bad call. I don't see it really that it affected the game. I don't think it would make them lose game 6, but to me, Miro played almost 19 minutes tonight. He doesn't need to go in and play 26 just because you only have 6 defensemen. So I think you should roll with Blackwell and 12-6.
That was thunder at Sean's house, wasn't it?
That was loud.
That was quite the
did
rumble.
You see the
No,
lightning
I just
It was Lud's stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sam was allowed to use the toilet by his
Oh.
captors.
Thank you.
Bing bang.
Nolan Ruth with a Madonna 99 cup year. Am I the only one who is not really upset about Ben? I feel something needed to happen to inject some life into this team after a rough performance. I'm assuming he's talking about the punch to Scheifele late in the third period. Luds?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's frustrated at that point, and Jamie's in the right position, and Scheifele wasn't paying attention. So I think you get fortunate out of it. I was wondering what
Got a power play.
what the call was going to be. I was a little confused with it, but whatever.
I love it.
Bing bang.
Ardell, power play time on ice. Number 4, that's Heiskanen, 5 minutes. Number 55, Harley, 3:06. What the F?
Can I not send you guys a text message after
You
the
did.
first
Yep.
two? And what did the text message say?
I believe you said look for number 4 to come out to start the next power play.
Yep.
Why did you say that, Luds?
I said it because Thomas didn't seem as connected for those first two. And I believe that there's a reason for that. I believe that he's waiting to get taken off of that.
Really?
I do. And I don't think I thought it last game, and I thought, I wonder if this is affecting him, having Miro back. And, all the talk with when Miro gets back, he's going, and we're all like, why?
Oh.
He should be there. Well, then he fumbled a couple pucks early and a couple pucks. And I thought, and Miro's looking better. And so, was there not a goal that was created by Miro and a pass down to Granlund, all that other kind of stuff?
In game 4.
Yeah. So I just felt that the leash that Thomas felt, that the leash may be a little bit shorter. And I think he helped it by maybe not playing as confident or whatever it may have been.
Well, on that note, it's the same reason that you go back to. One of the reasons the Stars let John Klingberg walk when he did there's a couple of reasons, but one of the reasons was we're going to take John Klingberg away because now he's no longer going to be a first power play option, and Miro is going to get to run with this. There was an addition by subtraction when you go back to John Klingberg leaving the Stars. And I think Bloods is right. Bloods is spot on there. There is an emotional and human element to this. As much as everyone can say, hey, I focus on my job and what I can control on, every single athlete, every single player looks at the depth chart. And you want to win every game, but Luds, right? There's the competitiveness. There's only so many jobs for various guys. And if you're Thomas Harley and everyone's talked about, hey, we need Miro back and everything like that, it's so easy to look at the human side of that and realize this is the savior, he's back. And you start gripping your stick a little too much, you start getting nervous, and you let it impact you. And I think we saw a little bit of that. So
it's a distraction. So let's go to break.
Thank you, Luds. Up next, more Super Chats here on DLS Stars Post Game Show. All right, let's talk about the DLLS Die Hard program and our spring cleaning clearance sale on All City Networks. If you go to our website right now and click on merch, you'll see that many of the items that have been available, including the shirt I'm wearing right now, which is the DLS flag shirt in green, is available for sale, 30 to 75% off. Oh, Sam's Nux sweatshirt. Thank you, Sam. I can't believe you're wearing a sweatshirt. Clearly your AC is turned up too high.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, way up.
Become a DLS diehard today. Go to alldls.com. You can see some of the things that are available both on sale and the shirts that are now new for the playoffs, like the Finnish Mafia back in stock, pre-sale right now. If you missed out on it before, get it before it goes again, because these have been selling like absolute wildfire. Then, of course, we have the Wyatt Johnston 16-bit, the Mikko finisher shirt. That Wyatt Johnston one is really cool. Kind of goes well with the Mike Modano one that we have. And we've got a Moose. We've got a Captain, also available for the playoffs. Sean, what about the Die Hard program sticks out the most to you?
Yeah, I think there's it's all about the thunder that kind of just comes in there. And it's, I have the community part is what kind of sticks out for me. It's the community, is the fact that we have people who are talking not just about the Stars, but talking about all of the DFW sports and barbecue and everything like that. And
not Luddy on that one.
And on top of that, you get Sam's great writing after every game. I do throughout the playoffs. I'm doing a post-game piece. When I rewatch the game, assuming my home is still standing tomorrow morning, I will rewatch the game tomorrow morning and write something off of it as well. And so you get access to the writing, you get access to all of that, and you get to be part of this cool community and conversation. And there's some great diehard events, and so that's why you should become a diehard. Sam should point at the little QR code right there for me right now, and that's my sales pitch. So.
Oh, perfect. No. Now I'm just pointing at nothing.
They just moved us around, and Luds figured it out because, yes, good job, Luds. You found it.
Oh, the Stanley Cup.
Okay, so before we get to the next Super Chat. Oh, that's loud. That was right in the eardrums. Any Any other conversation you guys want to bring up about Miro and Thomas and the deferring to the number one defenseman?
Nope, that's all I was going to say is I just think it's a bit of a distraction for Thomas. That's how I look at it. Like,
But he's also a pretty
you're
confident
looking
guy.
over your shoulder, you know what I mean? You're looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's been so good at it. He's done everything that we thought he could do. And no, it's not perfect all the time, but I think you're just kind of waiting. I'm just wondering that in his mind as he's hearing Miro's coming back, just like everybody else, he's going to be back. He's going to be back. He's going to be back. And he's wondering how long I'm going to be on power play. How long I'm going to be on power play. And then when he's there, you know, you get a little bit of this going on.
And I think it's less Luds that it's Miro that's behind him. It's not like, you know, how he's thinking this guy's better than me. He's probably thinking what we were all thinking during the first 50 games of the year, which is, why am I not on this top power play unit already? Because he's the better option. But he knows Pete DeBoer likes to fall back on that best player should be on the top power play narrative. And that's probably in his head. I agree 100%.
All right, John, next super
Bing
chat.
bong.
Christian with a Haskinen 99. I think 11-7 tonight was a mistake. Jets adjusted and exploited it tonight. No more 11-7 next game. Would like to see Blackwell next game as well.
I agree with that. I think he brings a little bit of energy out there.
Yeah.
Next
Bing
one,
bong.
Daniel Howard with a DeSmith 99 cup here. Expect any league discipline for Jamie Benn?
It's the playoffs.
Nope. They got 10s. That's it.
If Max Domi didn't get suspended for checking Barkov from behind in a game that was already over.
Law.
Yeah.
He cross-checked the guy in the face.
Yeah. But to me, I thought the Domi one, but they were like, nope, playoffs. Move on.
Yeah.
Next.
Bing bong.
Christian with a Haskinen 99. Zone entries on power play. Oof. Shimmy up neutral zone, skate / enter to the right. Repeat. Didn't adjust until the fourth power play. Need more sustained ozone time.
Word.
Luds
Yep.
knows.
Yep.
This next one is for
Bing
Sean.
bong.
Oh, jeez.
Lewis Confair with a Haskinen and Zubov
No.
missed penalty for Hellebuyck taking his mask off? Question mark.
Well, I think I don't know exactly whether the refs were already going to give him the whistle already, because he had been yelling at the refs for it. So it might have been something that was about to happen, and then he just took it off at the same time. So, but yeah, that is something that they've called penalties on before. I also think the refs, after the refs gave Jake Oettinger the quick whistle before, I don't think there's any way in heck that they were going to give a penalty on that. So,
And that was on that play was a shame because the Stars were about to clear the puck all the way down. They get the Jets get an offensive zone face-off out of it and eventually score. They might have scored on the 5-on-3 anyway, but that was just a weird combination of events.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Michael Moore with a Madonna 99 cup here. If this was the Jets' best game to save their season, I feel good. When Dallas began to press in the third, chances were there. The Jets have a tough time scoring and need 6 power plays. We're good. I like your optimism.
Positive spin.
Yep.
Love
Bing
it.
bong.
Bailey with a DeSmith and 99 cup here. Has Luds ever listened to Hard Bass?
That was when he put on the towel hat.
Oh, okay.
Is that a individual? Is that a talking about a hard bass, the concept of someone playing hard bass, or is there actually an artist named?
I mean,
Hard
if
Bass?
you want to get really silly past midnight, it could be Hard Bass. Maybe he's talking about fishing. I don't know.
Like, is hard bass a band?
It's a genre of music.
Is it?
Russian hard bass mix number 1.
Oh, see, we learned something tonight.
Okay.
Then the answer would be no.
Not yet. I'll send you
Bing
some
bong.
stuff, Luds. I got a playlist.
John with a Masterton and 99 cup here. Y'all get so much support after a win. I just want to appreciate y'all's insights all the time. How about that Texas versus Canadian team lefty jaw knocker 9 years to the day after Rugi? I'm excited for the Game 6 punchback.
Excellent wordplay.
Yes, that is.
Thank you, John. I appreciate
Bing
you
bong.
enjoying our show. Talk hockey with me. That's Jordan with a Haskinen 99 up here. I'd pay for a bigger super chat, but I guess I need Game 6 tickets. Also, I feel like signing Granlund is a priority. Go Stars. I mean, he certainly looks sharp with his Finnish buddies, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's made a very, very good case.
And I said this when they signed him or when they acquired him at the deadline. his play at the Four Nations made me think he was going to be even more valuable in the playoffs, and that's come true so far.
If you know anything about the Mafia, it's hard to break them up.
Yeah.
Have they had any? Has there been a shift where he's put all 5 of them on the ice at the same time yet?
I don't think they have
I
yet
haven't
because
seen
they
it.
would need Lindell and Heiskanen out there with that group.
Because it's the just
Yeah.
If it's happened,
Well, they didn't do it in the first one, and then I think Miro was asked about that this morning, and he said, "Yeah, maybe at some point we'll get all 5 of us out there." So it'll probably happen
Bing
eventually.
bong.
yeah.
Bailey with a Madonna 99 cup here. Luddy nuts include the grundle, chafed and all. The proper word is taint,
Your
gents.
balls, butt cracks, and grundles.
Oh, but also, it could be nacho. It's not your balls and it's not your ass.
That's true. It's just your perineum.
Bing bong.
Man, what a great line. Stephen Craig with a Masterton and 99 cup here. This team is good, better than in 2020, obviously, but I just can't help but feel like it in 2020, it was pure grit, and now back-to-back Western Conference exits. And now through these playoffs, the Stars just take a fat dump in games. Why? This is, first of all, thank you for the visual. That was wonderful.
We have Mando for that.
He took some
Your
dumps in
balls, butt
2020
cracks,
too.
and grundles.
Just remember, this is a way better team than 2020. They seem to be that team sort of catching lightning in a bottle, so to speak. This is a much deeper team than 2020.
The team that
Does anybody remember, has the Stars ever gone in and into the playoffs and lost 3 games in a row? I mean, that's for somebody to.
They lost.
Yeah.
They lost 3 in a row in the final against Tampa in 2020.
That's right, because they were up. They won the first
They were
one,
up
and then they went down
1-0.
3-1. Yeah,
I know people were giving me crud about comparing things to 99 and era earlier in the chat. So, but I'm going to pull out another. The team that won the Stanley Cup last year lost games 6-2, 5-1, 8-1, and 5-1.
8-1.
yeah.
Yes, that is the team that won the Stanley Cup last year.
Because guess what? It does not matter.
Yes.
It
Bing bong.
Listen, it's like golf.
Nothing else
in
matters.
Match play. If you lose the hole, it's -1. It's not 10 strokes. Doesn't matter. We are on Chris Canada with a Heiskanen 99. Did you get a sense that the game plan tonight was keep it close till the third and then go for it?
No. No.
I don't
Wasn't
think it
close.
was the game.
That was not the game plan. The game plan was to be up 3-0 after the first, 5-0 after the second, and then just coast in.
I think they should do that plan in game 6.
That would be good.
Just to go run the goal play. Run the goal play early.
So I want to go back to something really quick before we end tonight, because that was our, well, no, we got another super chat. Here we go. Bailey with a
Bing
Heiskanen
bong.
99. Nacho balls, not our game. It happens. Let's spread the fecal matter material next game, preferably on the
Your
grundle.
balls,
Okay,
butt cracks, and
The
grundles.
grossest
that's-
super chat
we're
we've
getting
ever
grosser, Bailey. Thank you. The Stars obviously would have loved Luds to have a couple extra days rest with Carolina closing out tonight. We know Florida and Toronto playing tomorrow. Maybe as early as Sunday, Monday, if they had finished this series off tonight, but looking like they're going to have a chance. My big thing is that I don't think they have to get too caught up in Edmonton having extra rest. They've got to win this series before they worry about next round.
Yeah, you know what? And regardless, I would say regardless if it takes them game 6 or game 7, just finish it
Yeah.
off.
Win
Yeah.
the series.
Deal with game 1 after.
Sean, 10 seconds or so.
For what?
Okay. Sam, anything?
Shout out to the neon orange Stars fan that I've seen now at every Stars game all season and every road game, Denver and Winnipeg.
Has Sean ever been able to say anything in 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Hey, that's it. We're done. Super chats are done. Game 6 will be at 7 o'clock. I would imagine a 6:15 pregame show right here from our studios this time. For Sean, for Luds, for Sam, and of course for the unseen John tonight. I'm Owen. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back on Saturday, off tomorrow, here on DLLS. Boom!